The shocking truth behind America's most terrifying cannibal cave haunting you today. Deep within the heart of Wilson Creek Canyon lies a dark secret that has twisted the minds of those who dare to tread too close. The cave, once a tranquil refuge for hikers, is now infamous for the whispers of blood-curdling screams and shadows that dance like phantoms in the dark. Legends tell of a family that vanished without a trace, leaving only torn remnants of clothing scattered like lost souls. They say that the cave's eerie silence is occasionally shattered by the sound of scraping a hollow, bone-chilling noise that sends shivers down your spine, and it won't let you forget. Those who have ventured into the cave are haunted by strange occurrences. Some hear the faint echo of laughter turning into wails, as if the very walls hungered for their fear. The air is thick, each breath feels like inhaling the weight of unseen eyes, watching, waiting. The flicker of a flashlight reveals odd symbols scratched into the rock, ancient warnings, or rituals lost to time. Who carved them, and why? The locals have grown wary, their faces pale with fear when speaking of the cannibal of Wilson Creek. How did a simple hiking spot go from a serene getaway to the scene of utter terror? As the sun sinks behind the trees, casting ominous shadows, an inexplicable tension stretches itself across the clearing. A group of brave souls gathers at the cave's entrance, their hearts pounding like war drums. They share nervous chuckles, but their eyes betray them, a tightness in their chests, a lump forming in their throats. Something's not right. A sudden scream pierces the night, the sound of someone or something calling from within. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The group hesitates, glancing at each other, fear flickering in their eyes. The laughter is gone, replaced by an oppressive silence that seems to pulse with its own life. As they step back, one of them hears a soft whisper, "Help me." The sound creeps under their skin, sparking a desperate need to uncover the truth. What happened to those who disappeared? Will they become the next lost souls of the cave, forever echoing in the darkness? The choice looms before them, a gaping maw of uncertainty, and as they prepare to step inside, can they escape what waits in the shadows? The group stood frozen, their breath mingling with the cool night air. A chill crept down their spines, as if the cave itself were exhaling a deep, dark sigh. The whisper seemed to bounce off the stone walls, caressing their ears with a haunting urgency. "Help me." It had been a call tinged with desperation, one that stirred their empathy into a storm of unease. "What do we do?" Jenna asked, her voice barely above a whisper, trembling like a leaf caught in a breeze. The others exchanged glances, the fear palpable. Did they dare venture into a place that might swallow them whole? "We have to go in," Mark insisted, his bravado masking his own fear. He stepped forward, the flashlight piercing the darkness. The beam flickered, and for a moment, he thought he saw something shift in the shadows, a figure, maybe, or just the mind playing tricks. Though it felt like the cave was beckoning them closer, a sense of dread gripped his gut. "Are you crazy? What if that's a trap?" Lily barked. Her hands balled into fists, eyes wide with the horror of the unknown. People don't just vanish. They were taken for a reason. The notion tightened around their throats, constricting like a noose. A part of them yearned for adventure, another recoiled at the thought of becoming the next tale of terror. Each heartbeat echoed ominously in their ears as they stood rooted in place. Then, a loud scraping noise shattered the silence. It was a sound so primal, so raw, it sent them stumbling backwards. The ground felt unsteady beneath them. With every creak and groan of the cave, something ancient seemed to awaken. "Did you hear that?" whispered Jake, his eyes darting around. "It's just the wind, right?" But the hesitancy in his tone betrayed his own beliefs. They could feel the cave come alive around them, the air thick with unspoken history and dread. With a sudden burst of reckless courage, Jenna stepped forward again. "I'll go first," she declared. The idea of leaving the group behind just like the lost family set a fire in her belly. "She wouldn't be just another ghost of Wilson Creek." Reluctantly, Mark followed, turning the flashlight's beam deeper into the cave, its glow stressing the uneven rock walls. Shadows danced, making grotesque figures that twisted and turned as they advanced. Jenna shivered, her hands trembling as she grazed the cold stone, feeling something or someone beneath the surface. As they made their way further in, the whispers grew louder, more distinct. "Help me, please find me," the pleas echoed, drawing them deeper into the cave's maw. Every step felt like they were crossing a threshold into madness, reality merging with the supernatural. Suddenly, the ground beneath their feet crumbled, sending one of the group, it was Lily, tumbling down a steep drop. "Lily!" they shouted, a mix of terror and urgency propelling them towards the edge. They peered into the darkness where she had fallen, their frantic voices swallowed by the cave. Was she gone, lost to them forever? Before they could process what had just happened, a blinding light erupted from below, a glow that felt both otherworldly and eerie. It pulsed like a heartbeat, casting their faces in stark relief against the darkness. "What the hell is that?" Jake's voice trembled, chills racing down his spine. The light flickered fiercely. In that moment, everything transformed. "Get back! We need to find her." Mark's voice rang out, but they were already being drawn toward the brilliance. Could they turn back now? Regardless of the threat that loomed, they were compelled to move forward. "Wait! We need to be careful!" Jenna screamed just as the earth shuddered beneath them. Would they plummet into the unknown with their friend? Or discover the secret hidden beneath Wilson Creek? In that moment of dread, shadows came alive around them, and the cave whispered again, "Join us." The meaning was clear, the last echoes of the lost souls called to them, inviting them deeper into the darkness. What awaited them in the glowing depths? They had crossed the threshold. There was no turning back now. The tremor subsided, but fear clung to the group like a thick fog. Jenna felt it tightening around her chest, her pulse quickening as she peered down into the fading light. "We have to help Lily," she urged, desperation cracking her voice. But she could barely hear herself over the eerie whispers clawing at her mind. Mark's grip on the flashlight slipped. "We need to think. We can't just jump down." The shadows flickered in response, as if mocking their hesitation. The pulsating glow below danced in a rhythm, almost like a heartbeat, alive and beckoning. "It's not safe. What if it's a trick?" Jake hissed, his face pale. He edged back, but the cavernous whispers soothed him and terrified him all at once. What if whatever took the family is down there? A flicker of movement caught Jenna's eye, a silhouette forming in the glowing light. "Lily?" she called, her voice echoing off the damp stone walls. The light flickered again, responding to her plea, almost as if it recognized her. "I'm coming." With that, she didn't wait for a response. She steadied herself and jumped. Air rushed past her as she fell, and for an instant, the fear transformed into sheer adrenaline. She landed in a shallow pile of dirt and rocks, the light blindingly bright now overhead. Jenna blinked, confusion setting in. She put a hand on the wall to steady herself but felt a strange warmth radiating from it. "Lily?" she called again, scanning her surroundings. The cave twisted in unexpected directions, and she could barely make out the shapes forming in the light. "Jenna?" Lily's voice rose from somewhere deeper, laced with a mix of relief and confusion. "I'm here. I'll come to you." Jenna yelled, and without waiting for an answer, she moved forward, guided by the haze of light. The air grew warmer, filled with an almost electric hum, pulling her further from the others while consuming her own fear. Back above, Mark and Jake exchanged frantic glances. "We need to get down there now," Jake shouted, determination snapping through him. Sensing the urgency, Mark climbed over the rocky edge carefully, the beam of the flashlight behind him steadying his steps. The whispers resumed, more insistent this time, drowning out everything else. As Mark descended, he could feel the cave close around him, shadows slinking in and out. "Lily! Jenna!" he shouted, trying to ignore the prickling sensation of being watched. "We need to find them." Suddenly, the glow dimmed, and a collective gasp escaped from the dark as Lily came into view, clinging to the wall. "Mark! Over here!" He rushed toward her with Jake right behind, their hearts pounding like war drums. As they joined her, the pulsing light flickered wildly, revealing faces etched in agony and despair, a haunting assembly of lost souls trapped within the cave. They cried out in unison, a cacophony of pain that flooded over the group like icy water. "What the hell?" Mark's voice trailed off, his throat tightening. A deep, foreboding sense of dread washed over him. The shadows shifted, swirling into forms that threatened to merge with the glimmer of light. "You shouldn't have come," a voice called out, disembodied but eerily familiar. Jenna's heart dropped. "They'll never let you leave." They turned to each other, terror etched in their eyes. "What does that mean?" Jake stammered, fear slicing through his bravado. "Please help us." They turned back toward the light, and it pulsed with life, urging them to make a choice. They could stay and try to help or flee before the cave claimed them, just like it had claimed so many others, but what if leaving meant losing Lily forever? Could they bear that cost? Just then, a shocking revelation crashed upon them, as if the walls themselves were echoing truths long buried. The truth is closer than you think. What did it all mean? Was there more than just the lost souls? Darkness loomed, but clarity was inching closer. As the light blared, they braced themselves for what's to come, the shadows swirling, ready to shape their fate. Would they find a way out, or become yet another haunting echo of the cave? The air crackled with tension as Jenna stood, caught between two worlds. She could see Lily, her sister, desperately reaching out, but shadows coiled around them, a swirling mass that felt alive. The lost souls hung in the air like fragile ghosts, their faces contorted in a shared torment. "Help us!" A whisper slithered from the dark, echoing through Jenna's mind. It was personal, a plea that stung, making her heart race. "They need you, we need you." Mark's voice jolted her from the haze. "We can't stay here. We need to get all of you out." Lily shook her head, confusion darkening her features. "No. They're trapped." "If we leave," a chill swept through Jenna. "Leave what?" "Leave you?" The very idea felt like a blade slicing through her core. She couldn't abandon her sister, not now, not ever. Suddenly, a loud cracking sound echoed through the cavern, followed by a rush of gravel as a large chunk of rock broke free above them. Dust cascaded down, hanging ominously in the air. Mark raised the flashlight, its beam dancing wildly, illuminating the cracks spreading across the cave walls. "This place is coming down. We need to move." Jake grabbed Jenna's arm, pulling her toward the light. "Now, before it's too late." But Jenna's feet felt like they were glued to the ground. She was torn, not just by the weight of the cave, but by the voices filling her mind. "Stay, don't go, we are your only hope." Lily's eyes shimmered with unshed tears as she reached for Jenna. "You need to make a choice. Either we risk it for those souls or we go." Jenna's breath quickened. What if helping them means we end up trapped like them? The darkness felt thicker, suffocating. "Do you want to live with that guilt?" Lily's voice was sharp and cutting. "Every second you hesitate, they lose hope. Don't you see, Jenna?" Mark implored, his gaze shifting between her and the flickering light. "If that voice is right, if they're trapped by what took the family, we're not just helping strangers anymore. We're fighting for our own souls." That revelation hit Jenna like a cold wave crashing over her, washing away doubt. She took a breath, steadying herself. "Okay, I'll help you. We can't turn our backs. Not now." A low rumble reverberated through the walls, growing in intensity as the flickering light transformed into blinding waves. She could feel it drawing her closer. Shadows began to shift, twisting into humanoid forms, figures reaching out with clear desperation. Together! Jenna called out, her voice firm against the screams of the cave. She clutched Lily's hand while Mark and Jake moved closer. The energy in the cavern surged, a pull that felt both inviting and deadly. Embrace the truth. Embrace us. The voice grew louder, as if many were speaking through one. Eyes wide, they pushed forward. Who were these souls? What had they done to be trapped here? Focus. Mark urged, his tone fierce. If we connect with them, maybe we can negotiate their freedom. Jenna nodded, feeling the pull of fear but also a glimmer of strength. The shadows enveloped them, tendrils wrapping around her like a feverish lover, offering support yet demanding something deeper. What lay ahead would test them. Could they bridge this gap between the living and the lost? With hearts pounding, they stepped into the blinding light, hoping to discover the truth behind the haunting shadows that threatened to claim them all. But as they merged with the light, the whispers grew deafening, and Jenna knew this was only the beginning. What hidden horrors would they uncover, lurking in the darkness? Would they find salvation, or be consumed by the weight of forgotten souls? As the light swallowed them whole, Jenna felt herself being stretched thin, as if her very essence was being tugged in all directions. The voices transformed into a choir of anguish, echoing in her soul. Each note resonated with raw pain, creating a web of despair that wrapped tightly around her heart. Don't look away. Face the truth. One voice cried out, piercing through the fog. Jenna's vision blurred as the harsh brightness dimmed, revealing an ethereal landscape. Shades of gray replaced the stark white light, twisting into familiar shapes. It felt like a memory she couldn't quite place, a childhood playground now overrun by shadows. What is this? Lily whispered, her eyes wide with fear. Mark took a cautious step forward, his flashlight flickering uncertainly. This isn't a place, it feels like a past. Our past. Suddenly, faces emerged from the shadows, fleeting yet unmistakable friends, family, even strangers from the town. Each visage bathed in sorrow, pleading silently for help. Jenna felt her stomach churn as the realization struck her. These were the people from the stories, the folks whispered about in terrified tones, the ones who disappeared without a trace. There's a connection here, Jake murmured, his voice shaky. They all lost something or someone. No. Jenna shouted, shaking her head violently as if she could dislodge the truth. They're gone. We can't bring them back. We can't, but we can help them, Lily insisted, gripping her sister's arm tightly. If we learn what happened, maybe we can save ourselves. The air thickened as the voices grew louder, each one a tortured cry woven into a tragic tapestry. Jenna's heart raced. They were all trapped, stuck in cycles of pain and loss. The shadows pressed in around them, each fleeting face demanding something: justice, acknowledgement, release. We were taken. A child's voice rang out, a small hand reaching towards Jenna. Help us remember. Jenna's pulse pounded in her ears. She could feel their desperate hope crashing against her own despair. Remember what? She cried out, clenching her fists. What happened to you? The child's face twisted, transient but full of emotion. The cave, it consumes memories. It feeds on fear. Every word sent chills down Jenna's spine, flooding her with dread. They weren't just lost souls, they were remnants of grief, echoes of something sinister nestled deep within the cave. Is this what we have to face? Mark asked, stepping forward to shield Jenna and Lily. Is this the truth, what they've endured? Yes, the chorus of voices answered in haunting unison. Face the fear. Feel the pain. Then, just like that, the shadows shifted again, morphing into grotesque forms, twisting and morphing like a nightmare. The cave walls trembled, quaking around them as the lost souls pulsed with energy, drawing erratically from the shadows. "Flee!" Mark yelled, pulling Jenna and Lily back. "We need to find a way out, now." But Jenna stood firm, a sense of purpose igniting within her. "No. We can't run from this. We owe it to them to know what happened. To remember." As the cacophony of cries surged, Jenna felt a tight grip on her wrist. She turned to see the child's spirit staring up at her, eyes brimming with sorrow and hope. The shadows danced hungrily around them, swirling tighter. What if finding the truth means facing our own nightmares? Jake whispered, eyes darting as he noticed the fading light. "Then we face it together," Jenna declared, pulling herself free of fear. With a deep breath, she stepped forward, the swirling shadows closing in. What lay beyond was not just piecing together a tragic past, it was confronting unthinkable truths, horrors that could either redeem them or doom them once and for all, and just as the shadows began to merge into a blinding darkness once more, Jenna thought she saw a glimmer of hope, perhaps the breaking point of the cave's curse just beyond their reach. Could they confront whatever haunted them with the same fierceness they defaced the darkness? Or would they become just another echo in the chamber of lost souls? The choice loomed, and with it, the chilling promise of a revelation that could change everything. The shadows converged, relentless and alive, swirling like storm clouds. Jenna's heart raced as dread pooled in her stomach. She looked back at Mark, Lily, and Jake, all of them ready to plunge into the black, drawn by an undeniable gravity. Mark's grip tightened around the flashlight, its beam slicing through the darkness that pulsed like a living entity. "Stay close," he commanded, his voice barely above a whisper, underscored by the frantic beat of their hearts. As they pushed deeper into the shadows, Jenna felt the atmosphere shift. It was heavy, thick with memories that clung to her skin. Faces surged around them, moments lost in time, emotions swirling in a kaleidoscope of grief and fear. From the corner of her eye, Jenna spotted the child's spirit again, hovering just ahead. She could almost see a glimmer of light in the child's eyes, a trace of hope amidst despair. "You have to find the truth," the child urged, a tremble in its small voice. "Or we can't escape." "What truth?" Jenna shouted, desperation clawing at her throat. She felt Mark squeeze her hand, his strength grounding her, yet his worry painted a shadow across his face. "About the cave. About what happened to us." The child echoed, its voice cracking under the weight of its sorrow. "You have to look beyond the pain." Suddenly, a ferocious wail erupted from the shadows, like a tortured wind ripping through the cavern. The voices of the lost swelled, merging into an anguished howl that rattled Jenna's bones. They were alive, a chorus of despair pulling at her heartstrings, begging them to listen. "We have to find a way to help them," Lily insisted, her eyes bright with determination, even as terror gripped her features. "Jenna, we can't abandon them." Jenna knew this was their chance. They stood at the precipice of a dark decision. Did they face whatever twisted truth awaited them? Or were they destined to join the echoes of despair? Turning to her friends, Jenna felt a sense of unity in their shared fear, a bond that sparked resolve. "Let us move," she said, stepping forward again. Her voice was steadier than she felt. The shadows whispered, their fingers reaching toward her. She could almost taste their anguish, a bitter metallic tang that filled her mouth, but she pushed through. As they ventured deeper, Jenna noticed the walls shimmered, revealing images, snapshots of the past. A family gathering, children playing, laughter that felt distant now, swallowed by shadows. Each memory was a frozen scream, fraught with moments stolen by fear. "Look!" Jake pointed suddenly, eyes wide. "That it's us." Through a crack in the wall, Jenna saw herself, not just as she was now, but younger, trapped in a moment of pure terror. She recoiled, but couldn't look away. The younger version of herself stood in front of the cave, a warning on her lips that never escaped. "It's a trap." Jenna gasped, realization dawning. "It was us all along. We came here before." The cave thrummed like a heartbeat, alive with revelation. "What do we do?" Mark asked, panicked. Shadows surged forward, more aggressive, more demanding. Jenna could feel the child's spirit pulling at her, urging her closer. "Remember the pain," the child whispered, its voice a soothing balm against the chaos. "Embrace it. Only then can you set us free." Just then, the shadows split open, revealing a pathway shrouded in a thin veil of light. The flicker caught Jenna's attention. A way out? Or just another deception? "Do we dare?" She breathed, the weight of their choice heavy in the air. They hesitated, the cacophony of lost voices crescendoed, each syllable intertwining with their thoughts echoes of sorrow, calling to be heard. With her heart racing, Jenna stepped toward the light, determination flooding her veins, but as she took the first step, a bone-chilling scream erupted from the depths of the cave, a sound rooted in unspeakable horror. "No! Don't follow her. She's bringing it back." Jenna's breath caught in her throat, and a paralyzing fear washed over her. What if the truth they sought only led to more darkness? What if bringing the past to light doomed them all? And just as that thought gripped her, Jenna reached out toward the shimmering light, feeling its warmth against her skin, tempting yet terrifying. Was stepping into the darkness the key to unlocking the truth? Or were they about to unleash something far more horrifying? For a moment everything hung in the balance. Their next move could change everything forever. Jenna's heart thundered in her chest as she hesitated, a battle raging in her mind. The light beckoned her, yet the screams of warning echoed louder, drowning her in fear. Shadows pulsed around her, their whispers chilling her spine. "Jenna, wait." Mark's voice sliced through her thoughts, panic lacing his tone. He reached out, fingers brushing against her arm, grounding her in their reality. "We can't just charge in blindly. What if we trigger something worse?" Lily's eyes darted from the light back to Jenna, uncertainty painted across her face. "But what choice do we have? We're already in this mess. We need to know the truth." Jenna swallowed hard, every instinct screaming at her to turn back. Behind her, the shadows twisted, swirling in a frenzy. She could feel them pulling at her, a suffocating grip that promised despair if they failed. "But what if it's a trap?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "What if we can't handle what we uncover? Or what if not knowing traps us here forever?" Jake's voice quivered, and she could see how much he yearned for escape. Jenna closed her eyes for a moment, trying to find clarity. Memories rushed back, her younger self, fear-stricken at the mouth of the cave. The child's spirit had called them to discover the truth. Was it really hiding within the light, or were they about to unleash greater horrors? "Embrace the pain," the child's voice flared in her mind, a haunting reminder of what was at stake. Suddenly, a low rumble cascaded through the cave like thunder, reverberating against the walls, making dust rain down from above. The shadows quivered and pulled tighter, the air crackling with electric tension. "Do you really want to stay trapped in this nightmare?" The haunting whispers grew even more insistent, a siren's call promising clarity and chaos. As she opened her eyes, Jenna made her decision. "We can't back down. Not now." With one last, deep breath, she sprinted toward the light. Mark, Lily, and Jake followed, moving like a single pulse of desperation fueled by the hope of liberation. The moment they crossed the threshold, light engulfed them, a warm embrace that contrasted against the biting fear of the shadows. But it did not last long. The path twisted, revealing a grotesque tableau of anguish. Images flashed before them, gruesome scenes of past tragedies. She saw visions of families torn apart, faces twisted in pain, the echoes of their despair reverberating in the air. The child's spirit hovered above, now trying to shield its eyes from the horrors. "Jenna! What's happening?" Jake shouted, panic rising as he stumbled back. I don't know." Jenna cried, terror clawing her throat, "but we have to fight through it. We need to see." Walls writhed as if alive, memories bleeding into the present. One in particular drew Jenna in, a small boy, terrified, eyes wide with dread. They were all shadows of the past trying to tell their story. This was the truth they sought, horrific yet intertwined with the lives of the living. The cacophony of voices crescendoed again, an unbearable pitch that made her skull vibrate. "You have to face the truth," they yelled, accusing yet pleading. "Only then can we be free." The child spirit, weak yet determined, flitted nearby, desperately pointing to the largest image of family gathered around a fire, warmth suffused in their faces, a stark contrast to the turmoil swirling around them. Jenna's heart sank. This is where it all began, isn't it? Her realization struck like a lightning bolt, igniting clarity amidst the chaotic shadows. Mark's grip tightened on her shoulder, pulling her back from the abyss before her. "Jenna, it's not just the past. It's a cycle. We have to break it." In that crucial moment, with power roaring around them like a tempest, the shimmering light shifted and dimmed, revealing something grotesque, a specter with hollow eyes, its mouth open in a silent wail. "You brought it back." It rasped, the shadows swirling, growing restless. Jenna stumbled back, her stomach twisting. What did we unleash? And before they could react, the ground seemed to tremble beneath their feet, and the walls twisted tighter, sealing their fate. The scream of the lost echoed again, reverberating like a death knell. Jenna looked at her friends, their many fears mirrored in their wide eyes. One thought whispered through the cacophony: could they truly handle the nightmares of those who came before? The truth was clawing its way out. But at what cost? Jenna blinked, feeling the walls close in, shadows writhing like snakes. The specter loomed closer, its form shifting between agony and rage. Every instinct screamed for her to flee, yet the pull of the truth kept her rooted in place. "Jenna!" Mark's voice broke through her fear. She turned to see him gripping Jake's arm as if to hold him together. Gold flecks of desperation shimmered in their eyes. "What do we do? We can't stay here." They were engulfed in darkness now, the light fading until only the specter's hollow gaze remained bright against the impending void. "You set us free," it rasped, and suddenly the cave throbbed with memories unleashed. Unending wails of despair echoed, clashing violently with Jenna's racing heart. The walls pulsed around them as if the cave itself was alive, feeding off their fear, feeding off the memories of its lost souls. "No! We haven't done anything," Jenna shouted, attempting to reach out to the spirit. "We don't want to trap you. We're here to understand." The specter's mouth twisted into an eerie smile, a grin that promised nothing but darkness. "Understanding brings pain, and pain breeds the truth." The words dripped from its lips like venom, each syllable chilling them deeper. Lily took a deep breath, her voice trembling but steady. "What do you want from us? Just tell us." In answer, the specter raised a bony finger, directing its attention to the image of the family around the fire. Just a moment earlier, that scene had felt like warmth, but now it reeked of sorrow, a sinister undertone lurking beneath the surface of their shared happiness. "Find the truth, save us," the hollow being bellowed, and the shadows twisted wildly, each fragment of darkness trying to claw its way into the light. Mark looked around, panic etched into his features. What if this happens again? What if we can't break the cycle? A sudden, damp chill swept through the cavern as Jenna's mind buzzed with dread. For every tortured wail that floated around them, an image erupted in her thoughts, a memory yet to be formed. Each face she recognized, souls lost in the endless cycle. She gasped, her heart pounding harder. "We need to re-examine the family. We need to know how they fell apart." Jake, fear vibrating in every syllable, asked, "But how? How do we know what happened?" Jenna felt the child's spirit flit beside her. Its eyes were wide and pleading. "Feel the heartbeat, feel the connection." "Connection?" Jenna muttered, as if the word must hold the key. She glanced at her friends, determination igniting a fire within. "We need to focus on that scene. We need to find the ties, the love that once was. It's the only way. Let us dive deeper then." Mark leaped forward, ready to grasp the image. A force like a whirlwind pulled them, screaming through the fabric of the cave, hurtling them toward the glowing scene. The familiar warmth started to wrap around them again, but the shadows clawed desperately at their heels, trying to pull them back into despair. As they descended into the image, darkness still chased them, its icy fingers just moments away from pulling them apart. "Remember," Jenna shouted over the cacophony, "we are not alone in this. We can break the cycle together." But as she reached for the warmth of the family gathered around the fire, a powerful blast of anguish erupted, stunning them into silence. The spectre's voice echoed in their minds one last time, dripping with malice and sorrow. "You are not in control." The voice shattered their focus, and Jenna stood on the precipice of the past, clamoring for connection against the relentless weight of shadows. What else would they uncover amongst the twisted memories? And would they be strong enough to carry the weight of the truth? The warmth of the glowing scene ignited before them like a dying ember, a flicker of hope in the frosty grip of fear. But then the specter's twisted laughter echoed, a chilling reminder of the power still hanging over them. Jenna felt a surge of panic clawing at her throat. "Stay close!" she yelled, her voice reverberating against the shadowy walls. Mark squeezed her arm tightly, his breath ragged. "I can't believe we're doing this. Are we actually going back?" Before Jenna could respond, the shimmering warmth enveloped them, and they were pulled into the heart of the memory. The once familiar image of the family sitting around the fire glowed brighter, its inviting aura now distorted by an undercurrent of whispers that reverberated off the cave walls, as if they were secrets clawing for release. A sharp pang of nostalgia struck Jenna as she recognized the faces, each smile a mask of the sorrow buried beneath. "There, the mother." She pointed, feeling a sudden ache for the woman who radiated joy but seemed just a breath away from despair. "What do we do?" Jake asked, his eyes darting between the shifting shadows and the radiant scene. He seemed caught between two worlds, the yearning for comfort and the terror of the unknown. "Focus on her," Jenna said determinedly. "What does she feel?" They stepped closer, the warmth pressing against their skin, but the room pulsed, shadows whipping in protest. The specter's laughter echoed in their ears, mingling with the family's joyous chatter. A moment of hesitation hung in the air before they plunged deeper into the memory. Suddenly, the laughter faded as if a switch had been flipped. The joyous expression of the mother twisted wrenchingly into grief, her eyes misty with tears that weren't supposed to exist. Jenna staggered back, heart racing. What happened? Why is she crying? Mark clenched his fists. This isn't what it was supposed to be. We're losing it. Lily took a step toward the vision, her voice trembling yet insistent. No. We need to keep going. There's more to uncover. We can't let the darkness win. The cave erupted with noise, the wails of lost souls vibrating through their bones. Each cry became a deeper echo in their minds, resonating with anguish that nearly split Jenna's heart in half. We need to see what binds them, what tore this family apart. Jenna's heart raced as the shadows flickered at the edges of her vision, clawing at her resolve. She summoned every ounce of strength, reaching into the universe around them for a glimmer of the light that had once filled this space. Feel the heartbeat. We won't give in. She shouted. Then, out of the suffocating blackness, she saw a flicker of the family's past, a moment of flashing images, the laughter around the fire, tension rising, the father's simmering fury, the mother's silent despair. It all crashed over her like a wave, consuming her in chilling despair. This is it. She gasped, breath hitching. We're close. We have to dive deeper. No. Jake's voice rose, panic splintering through him. What if we can't come back? What if we drown in their pain? The specter materialized at the edge of their vision, its hollow eyes burning with hunger. This is your choice, it hissed. Face the truth or be lost forever. The choice loomed over them like a storm cloud, tension crackling in the air. Jenna felt the pulse of the memory quicken, the family's discord echoing ominously in her heart. Could they truly withstand the weight of that truth? What if it broke them, and as they clung to one another, they realized they weren't just fighting for the lost souls of the cave. They were fighting for their own. What horrifying secrets would they unearth in the depth of this binding history? And could they emerge unscathed from the darkness that threatened to swallow them whole? The shadows seemed to pulse as Jenna, Mark, Lily, and Jake stood together at the edge of despair. The specter's eyes glinted with malice as it waited for their decision. The air thickened, brimming with anticipation. The choice felt monumental. The truth stood just beyond their grasp, hidden behind the horror of the past. With a deep breath, Jenna squeezed her friend's hands tighter. "No more running," she declared, her voice steadying. "We have to face it. For the lost souls, and for us." Mark nodded, his face set in determination. "Together," he echoed, glancing at each of his friends. "Whatever comes next, we don't face it alone." Jake shot them a reassuring glance, though fear trickled in his eyes. "Okay, then. Let's do this." Lily looked up, her expression a blend of fear and hope. "We can break the cycle, we can help them remember." As they took a step forward, the cave shook violently. The specter shrieked, its hollow form shifting chaotically, seeking to consume their light. "You should turn back," it bellowed, despair threaded through its tone. But there was no turning back now. Jenna could feel the heartbeat of the cave echoing through her, a throbbing reminder of its tragic history. The images before them deeply morphed, revealing the grandmother figure's deep sadness. "She knew it would end badly," Jenna murmured, the shadows contorted into a swirling storm, dragging memories into a vortex of pain. "Focus!" she screamed, fighting against the pull. "We need to listen. There's strength in their cries." The family scene unfolded again, their emotional turbulence illuminating the dark. Jenna saw the tension rise again, the father's anger boiling as the mother's concern painted her extensive worry. "We're missing something," Jenna realized suddenly. "There's something that binds them, love, pain, something they lost." Lily's eyes widened. "We've got to touch the happiness before the pain consumed them. It was always there, hidden under the anger." Gritting her teeth, Jenna pressed forward. "Show us," she cried, feeling the warmth radiating from the family gathering. In that pulse of warmth, Jenna caught fleeting glimpses of golden laughter, their shared smiles, joys, and love, but just as quickly, the scene darkened, memories becoming tainted with resentment and betrayal. "This is the cycle, the pain that they carry," Mark shouted, yanking Jenna from the darkness of memories. The love turned bitterness, and the anger consumed them. Jenna's heart raced. This family couldn't hold on to the joy, it twisted into shadows of blame. Her breath caught in her throat as the specter grew larger, its form making the memories stretch and spin erratically. "No!" Mark stepped forward defiantly, drawing strength from their collective heart. "You were not just shadows, you were real." The specter hesitated, confusion rippling through its twisted features. As if sensing the shift in their energy, the shadows twisted dramatically. "You think you know love? Your fears will terrorize you all the same." The fragmented echoes chimed in discord, reverberating through Jenna, but Jenna pressed forward, refusing to falter. She focused on the flicker of warmth. Love can heal, but it can also hurt. If they just acknowledged the truth, their pain wouldn't have to repeat. With that sentiment rippling in the air, the child's spirit appeared again, shimmering like a forgotten memory. "Heal them. Remember the love," it urged, its tiny fingers reaching for Jenna's heart. Suddenly, clarity flooded through her, a vision of the family gathered again, not in grief but in celebration. Jenna felt the tether of truth, they needed to reclaim that moment. It was a fight against the pain that had held them captive. Jenna turned to Mark, Lily, and Jake. "We need to do it together." The shadows writhed. "No. You'll unleash even greater despair." The specter screeched. "Then let us." Jenna shouted, the fire of determination igniting in her chest. Let love reign and break this cycle. Taking a collective breath, they charged toward the pulsing glow, voices intertwining in harmony, chanting the phrases. The lost once cherished. Remember, love connects us past and present. What followed next felt like an explosion of warmth and color, breaking the darkness in a riot of light. The family scene imploded into vivid rapture, the laughter ringing clear against the hollow wails of despair. Shadows retreated, twisting against the onslaught of renewed love. Jenna felt their souls entwine, the raw emotions flooding the void, washing away the bitterness that haunted the cave. "We will face it," she proclaimed, "for we are here. To love and remember, and to heal what is broken." With that final invocation, a brilliant wave surged through the cave, illuminating even the darkest corners. The weight of the world shattered in that light. Shadows began to dissolve, screams giving way to soft sighs of relief. Jenna felt a release, an exhale through the air, echoes of thankfulness intertwined with hope. The specter screamed, its form collapsing with the retreating shadows. "No. Forgive them. You were supposed to drown in sorrow." It faded, a mere whisper stretched thin by the warmth that had reclaimed the darkness. As silence enveloped the cave, the pulsing heartbeat of the land calmed, the weight lifting. The air felt lighter, a soft breeze drifting through. They stood together, shocked and exhilarated, breaths mingling as they shared a moment of triumph. The truth had been embraced, the cycle broken. Jenna turned to her friends, a wave of relief washing over her. "We did it. We freed them." Mark smiled, a glimmer of hope sparking in his eyes. "And ourselves." Lily stepped closer, tears glistening. "We faced the truth together." Jake's voice trembled, but this time it was a whisper of joy. "Now we can finally go home." As they made their way towards the cave entrance, Jenna felt the warmth of the love they had reclaimed. The memories would linger, but they were no longer bound by the shadows that had held so many captive. Healing had begun, and with each step forward, they felt lighter, freer, ready to embrace the future. "Let us go home," Jenna whispered, taking one last look at the cave, now a place of redemption, not despair. And as they stepped into the light, they left behind not just the darkness, but a legacy of hope for all the lost souls who had called it home. And now, dear friends, this is your moment too. If you want to dive into more incredible stories and never miss an update, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm. Your support matters more than you think. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories. What do you think will happen next? Are you ready for more? Don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. You are part of this journey, and only true fans like you understand the importance of supporting our channel through these actions.